All right. So next component is flexibility. So flexibility refers to the range of motion that you have around a given joint. So like muscular strength and endurance, flexibility is also joint specific. You could have very flexible shoulders, but tight hips. And flexibility is important at any age. It plays a role in unhindered movement. So basically just moving without any obstruction, any internal obstruction. Your flexibility can affect your balance, coordination, and agility as well. So maintaining a full range of motion through your major joints can reduce the likelihood of injury, and then also enhance your athletic performance. So if you think about if you're falling forward, you want to raise your arms to catch yourself. But if you don't have the flexibility to, or even in volleyball, because when you're diving, right, your arms go a little bit higher. So if you don't have that flexibility, you won't be able to catch yourself as well. So just an example of how important our flexibility is. And as you age also, the importance of flexibility becomes even more clear, right? So think of individuals who are elderly. They often walk with a shuffle or have a hard time reaching their arms over their heads. This can affect your quality of life, making it more challenging to just perform your daily activities of living, like reaching items on high shelves or picking up items off the floor, bending over and grabbing down there. Even just, like I said, moving effectively to catch yourself if you fall. So, we can't stop the aging process, right? We're all aging every day. So what we want to do is protect our joints and maintain that mobility so we can stay mobile and active throughout our life. So what are some ways that we can improve flexibility? I think I might have mentioned some different kinds of stretching that you can do. Some ways that we can improve our flexibility.
I don't know what stretches are called, certain stretches, but you could do the ones where you sit down and then you pull one leg in and then you reach for the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're standing in one spot and you're stretching your muscles that way. So that would be called a static stretch because you're not moving, and you're kind of just lengthening your muscles passively. Yeah. So that is a good example of a stretch.
Or if you lay down and then you put your arms like this and you stretch your whole body.
Yeah, stretching your whole body like that. I like that stretch. That is a good one too. I think that would be a static stretch. But I also feel like you're working hard to stretch from the inside. Touching your toes is a really good one. Stretching out the back of your legs. This is also another static stretch. So let's go into this next slide here. So there's two kinds of stretching. There's static stretching, like what we've been talking about, and also dynamic stretching. So the consensus used to be that static stretches, like what we do in our cool downs when we just hold and hold. It used to be thought that these were the best before engaging in physical activity, but that is slowly starting to shift. So research has shown that static stretching before an exercise can actually negatively impact your performance and reduce muscular strength. So even though these stretches do improve your flexibility and range of motion, how long your muscles are, they don't help you with your performance. And sorry, I lost my spot here. Basically with static stretching, you're lengthening out your muscles, and this is the best for a cool down type stretch. So After your workout or activity is complete, lengthening out your muscles it relieves tension and relaxes your body. So if you think about if you ever, in the summertime before a pool party, like do a bunch of crunches, so then you're all like flexed when you're out there. So your muscles after you work out, they're still a little bit flexed. So lengthening them out helps them, it relieves that tension and tells them to relax, and it allows your blood to flow a little bit better through those muscles, which then allows them to recover better. So static stretching, not so great for warm-ups, but excellent for cool downs. Dynamic stretching. So dynamic stretching is it's when we do more things like this, when we're moving, or if you're going to be doing toe touches, right? Or knee to chest and then walking across, or walking lunges, right? So dynamic just means that there's movement while you're doing it. So dynamic stretching, it improves flexibility and range of motion, just like static stretching does, but it's actually shown that it can boost your performance as well. So there was a review done of a whole bunch of studies that were published. So then this third party came in and they reviewed all these studies that were published, and they found that active warm-ups like dynamic stretching can boost your power and strength in the following activity. So in the next activity that you do, you're more primed for it by doing a dynamic warm-up. And this type of dynamic stretching has also been shown to reduce the risk of injuries. So at Northwestern University, they did a study of 1,500 athletes, and they found that a combination of dynamic stretching and plyometrics, so like explosive power movements, and other exercises resulted in a 65% decrease in gradual onset injuries. So with dynamic stretching, you're not only preventing injury within that workout, but you're also preventing injury in the long run as well. It's important, though, to keep proper form and good technique when you're performing these dynamic stretches. This one is a good example of this, toe touch. Oftentimes people will slouch to get to their feet, and that's not good form. You're not stretching what needs to be stretched, and you're reinforcing inefficient movement patterns that could lead to injury, and you also just don't get those benefits from your dynamic warm-up because it wasn't done properly. Dynamic stretches are not great for cool downs because the purpose of cool down, right, you want to bring your body temperature back down. And with dynamic warm-ups, you're moving around more, like you're generating heat and you're raising your heart rate and stuff. So dynamic stretching is best for the warm-up. Static stretching is best for the cool down. Are there any questions on any of that? No, it kind of makes sense, right? Like if you just think about going through motions with your body, most of this like exercise, physiology stuff, I think is pretty straightforward. Like if you think about it, like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So if there's no further questions about, so now we've covered all 5 components of fitness, right? We did body composition, cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, and flexibility. So last call for questions on the 5 components of fitness. Cool. So moving on with this week, we're going to talk about the FIT principle is up next. And then we'll have our unit assessment at the end of the week. So we're kind of wrapping up this unit, and we should be good. So, all right, so we're going to move into our aerobic activity here. So make sure that you have some water, a clear space to do some activity. And I'm pretty excited about today's activity. We are going to be doing